Hey guys, so Matt and Yoga here today, and today we have three pretty big announcements that we're really excited about. So the first of these announcements is the MIA Japanese Quick Start Guide. So basically we've created this Quick Start Guide, which is a single document that contains all the information that you need to go from knowing nothing at all to completing stage 1 of MIA for Japanese. And it goes into a lot of detail explaining exactly what immersion is, how to do it, how to learn kana, how to learn kanji, how to sentence mine, and everything you need to know. Hopefully it's going to answer most of the questions that you guys have. And so, this has just been really overdue. And, we've known there's been a lot of just confusion about what exactly to actually do if you want to do MIA. And so hopefully this clears a lot of that up and just makes it a lot easier for newcomers to MIA to really just figure out what's going on and jump right into the process.
And for all the people who aren't learning Japanese, we're going to be making a non-language specific guide in the very near future. And then after that, we're going to be working with people who've achieved a high level in their own target language and working with them to make sure that we make a specific guide for each language that has all of the up-to-date resources for that specific language.
Yeah, so look forward to that as well. So the next big announcement that we have is the public release of the MIA Japanese add-on. So a few months ago, we released the beta version of the MIA Japanese add-on where we released it to our patrons and we had a lot of people try it out and help report bugs to us and stuff like that. And what's the current status, Yoga?
Yeah, the current status is that thanks to all of their support, I've been able to spend a lot of time on it, and together we've been able to plan a lot of new features, and now we've completely changed how it functions to the point that it's much more clear. There's a GUI now, so everything is much more readily accessible to any user. And now we're finally to the point where we can go ahead and release it publicly, and we're really excited about it.
We've also created a pretty in-depth guide on how to use the Japanese support add-on and put that on the MIA website. And so there'll be a link to that in the description to help you guys get the MIA Japanese add-on set up and working.
Last but not least, we're introducing the MIA Dictionary add-on. Right now, it's just going to be a beta release for all our patrons because there are some kinks still left to work out. But even in its current state, it has a host of features that really help to simplify the immersion and especially the sentence mining process. But these features are a lot easier to show rather than tell, so Matt's going to go ahead and give you a small preview right now.
Okay, so this is just going to be a super quick run through of the main features of the add-on. Yoga is going to make a really big in-depth video on exactly how all the features work and things like that, and that's going to be going up on our Patreon. So if you have any specific questions or problems or you need help figuring out how the feature actually works, then go and check that out. This is just going to be a kind of really quick run-through demonstration. So basically, to install the add-on, you want to just download miadictionary.rar, export the contents of it into your add-ons folder. And when you actually first download the MIA dictionary, it's going to come with a few free dictionaries, but you can also add your own dictionary. So the format that the add-on takes is JSON files. That's actually the same format as Yomi-chan. And so any dictionary you have for Yomi-chan, you can also import into here as well. And also, probably as time goes on, more and more people in the community will convert more and more dictionaries into this format. And so as time goes on, we should have a larger and larger selection of dictionaries to choose from. but there already are quite a few that you can use right off the bat. So in order to import a dictionary, you want to just go into the dictionaries folder and then go to the add-ons folder, I should say, and then open up dictionaries. And then you'll see within dictionaries, each language will have its own folder. And so if you want to use a language that doesn't have its own folder yet, then just go ahead and make a new folder for that language. And then within the actual language folder, each individual dictionary will also have its own folder. And then the actual file or files for the dictionary will go in there. So if you want to add a new dictionary, go ahead and make a new folder for it within the appropriate language category, and then put the files in there. And then that's really all you have to do. So the next time you open up Anki, it will automatically import your new dictionary. Now, the very first time you open up Anki after adding in a new dictionary, it's going to take a little bit for it to render the dictionary. So you'll get a little pop-up that will say like rendering the dictionary. But I won't show you that today because, it's pretty straightforward. So yeah, that will only happen the first time. And then after that, opening up the add-on will not take any time. So yeah, so now that we're in Anki, in order to actually open up the dictionary, you go to Tools, MI Actions, Open Dictionary, or you can see the hotkey is Control W. So I'll just go Control W. And here is the actual add-on. So the first thing we have right here are the dictionary groups. So by default, you have all Google images, and then each specific language will have its own dictionary group. But you can also make your own custom dictionary groups in the settings, which I'll show you in a little bit. But to start off, let's just go to all dictionaries. And then next we have the search mode. So we can search forward, which would be searching for words that start with your query, backwards, which is searching for words that end with your query, exact search, and so on. So that's pretty straightforward. So, we can search something like aisatsu, and then we see we got a bunch of entries. So to kind of go through what these other options are, so this opens and closes the sidebar. So this just kind of gives you a bird's eye view of all the different words that came up. That can be pretty useful. This is just zoom in, zoom out. This is single tab mode or multi-tab mode. So by default, it'll be in multi-tab mode, which means every time you search, it's going to open up that new search in a new tab. And then, yeah, you can see it's always a new tab. Whereas if you put it to single tab mode, then it will always look things up in the current tab. But I prefer single tab mode. And if you want to close a tab, you just right click on it. And then here we have the history, search history. Of course, you can clear your history. And then this is deconjugation mode on or off. So, normally by default, if you search a conjugated form of a word, then nothing's going to come up. But if you turn on deconjugation mode, then it will automatically deconjugate whatever you searched and find the actual entry. So this is going to be pretty useful, for example, if you're ever using the add-on to, read anything really, because, in real life things get conjugated. So for example, let's say I'm reading this definition and I want to look up this word right here, but it's conjugated. Well, I can just look it up and it will automatically deconjugate. So if I wanted to look something up inside of Anki, the hotkey is Control S. So I can just highlight this Control S and I immediately find the right definition. And so this Control S hotkey will work anywhere in Anki. If I actually made a card, oops. Now it's reviewing the card. Of course, I could just highlight and look it up there as well. And in the browser and so on. It will work anywhere. And so, yeah. So now just to finish off the buttons up here. So this is just night mode. And then this is a hotkey to open up the settings. It does the same thing as if you went to Tools, MI Settings, Dictionary Settings. So now real quick, let's make a dictionary group so that I can search a specific subset of dictionaries. So I'm going to go to the settings right here, add dictionary group. Just going to call it JP because it's going to be for Japanese. And then choose what font I want. And then choose what dictionary. So by default, it's just going to search, when you go to all, it's going to search all the dictionaries in alphabetical order based off the name of the dictionary. But if you make your own dictionary group, you can choose the order yourself. So I'm going to put Google Images first, then compiled accents, then Shinmeikai, Daijiri, and Daijisen. Save. So made this dictionary group. Now I'm going to hit apply. And so after you change something in the settings, you have to close and reopen the dictionary once for those changes to take effect. And so now when I go over here, we see JP. And so now let's say I search Aisatsu. So you'll notice I added Google Images, and this is a cool feature because a lot of times, you know, as they say, a picture is 1,000 words. And so sometimes, you know, if you look up something that is kind of more like a noun, just getting a picture will actually be a lot easier than trying to read a monolingual definition. So that's pretty cool. And the add-on comes with Google Image as kind of a built-in dictionary. Now also, before I go on, I just remembered that Yoga wanted me to show you guys that he really made sure to find dictionaries in a bunch of different languages. Because I know so far in MIA we've been really focused on Japanese, but we really do want to branch out and help people in many other language communities as well. So we went out of our way to really try to find as many different language dictionaries as we could. So you could see we got some Chinese, got some, oh, oops, I'm on the Chinese group. I'll go back to all. Got some Korean, got some German, got some French, and you can see. So far the deconjugation mode only works for Japanese, but in the very near future, we're planning on putting in support for other languages as well. So look forward to that. So yeah, so go back to my Japanese language group. So I already showed you how you can look things up just by highlighting and going Control-C. Another cool option is if you're outside of Anki, there's a different hotkey, but you can still look things up on the go by highlighting and going Control-CC. And so that can be pretty useful. You can just be reading things, and if you want to look something up, you got that hotkey right there. So now let me show you where it integrates with Anki. So if I was going to open up the add card page, so let's say that I wanted to add this to a card. So you go right here where, let's say, it's going to say select fields by default. And so you click select fields and you choose what field you want the add-on to send the definition. So I'm going to choose the meaning field. And the idea with this is that you only have to set this up one time, and it's going to remember what options you have checked off. And you're normally always going to be sending things to the same field, right? Like I'm never going to be sending a definition to the audio field, right? I'm always going to be sending it to the meaning field. So basically you kind of sync up all the different dictionaries with what fields you normally want to send definitions to, and then you'll never have to worry about that again. So once you've selected what field you want it to send to, you can click this button right here and it will send it to the field. Now when I click it, I get this little pop-up because I actually have an alpha version of the add-on. Yoga just tossed me whatever version he had at the moment when he was in the middle of coding it because I needed to film this video. And so I think this little pop-up was something that Yoga put in on purpose to help him test the some feature or something, but this shouldn't exist in your add-on. So when you're testing it, when you click this button, it should just send the definition right over with no extra stuff. Now I'll also note that by default, this box isn't going to be checked off right here. And so when you send it, you might notice that you have a kind of repeat of the original word here, where you have the first, jijitsu and then jijitsu again. And this happens because some dictionaries have a duplicate header, which is where you can see right here in the header, it has the word, and then it also has it at the top of the body of the definition. Now, not all dictionaries are like this. Like you can see, if I go to all, here you can see these dictionaries don't have it. But for the dictionaries that do have it, if you want to fix that, you just check off this box that says duplicate header. And then when you send it over, it won't be duplicate anymore. Now, the cool thing is this feature where you can just click one button and send stuff to directly to your field, it doesn't just work on the new add page. It also works in the browser and in the review page. So let's say that I had some sentence like this. And so if you want a real life use scenario, let's say that you read on your Kindle, you read Japanese books on your Kindle, and then every time there's a good sentence that you want to mine, you highlight the sentence, and then at the end of the book, you export all of the sentences that you highlighted, and you import them directly into Anki, but they don't yet have definitions. So in that case, normally you would have to go through all the sentences and then find the definitions and then review them. But with this add-on, you can actually combine the process of reviewing and adding the definitions. So basically right now, I have this sentence card with just the sentence, and it doesn't actually have any definitions. So what you could do is you could just look it up with highlighting it, Control S, and then you can actually send the definition directly to the field with this button. Or here, I'll show you. And it will actually send it without you having to go into the edit card page first. So let me just show you that again. So first, I'll actually show you the back of the card. So you can see right here on the back of the card, there's nothing. I hit this button, and then the definition is there. Now I'll note right here, if you're wondering what these stars are, Yoga and I created this kind of star system that tells you the rough frequency of a word. So the star system goes from 0 to 5. 5 means the word is extremely common. It's one of the 1,500 most common words in the language. And then, 4 stars is less common, 3 stars less common, and 1 star is extremely rare, and 0 star is like off the charts rare. And the reason why we made more stars equate to more frequent is because more stars kind of means more value, essentially. And the more common a word is, the more value it's going to have to you as a learner, because the more it's going to boost your comprehension when you learn it. So I'll be talking a lot more about the details of this in the future, but the idea is you have just a really quick way to eyeball the frequency of a word. Like you can just look at the word and say, okay, hite, that's 3 stars. That means that, if you're an intermediate learner, you should probably learn it. If you're a beginner, maybe you can just skip it because you don't need it. And if you're advanced, you should definitely already know this. So this way, if you just look things up real quick, you can know how valuable the word is. And so if you're just kind of using this dictionary in the wild, then it can give you a good sense of like, is this a word that's worth my time to learn, or is this just a fluke word that I'm never going to see again? Okay, so in addition to sending things directly to fields, there's also a mode completely dedicated to quick sentence mining. So in order to use that mode, we first have to make a card or an export template. Now, on the final beta version of the add-on, it might actually already come with an export template, and so you might not have to do this, but I do. So let's just create an export template. So you'll see what this is in a minute. It's hard to explain without showing you, but so it's going to be for the note type Japanese. The sentence field is going to be expression. I don't need a word field. The image field will be meaning, and the dictionary definition field will be meaning. And I'll save that. So hit apply, restart the dictionary add-on. So what the export mode is a mode where you can create sentence cards on the fly extremely quickly. So let's say that I'm just reading this page in Japanese and I find an I+1 sentence. So let's just say, here's my I+1 sentence. So what you can do is there's a special hotkey Control-C-X that is going to open up the card exporter. So this is the card exporter right here. And we can see it's already selected my Japanese template. And then within this, I can highlight whatever the I+1 word was and then do Control-S. And now I can go through and find a good definition for this word. So let's say this one's good. And then I just hit this Anki button. It automatically adds it to the card. And I can add multiple definitions if I want. Maybe I want to add this one too. And you can also easily add pictures by just copying the picture and then doing Control-Shift-Paste. It's going to paste that there. And now I'm just going to click Add, and it will make the card. So you can see once you kind of get the hotkeys down, you're going to be able to make cards extremely quickly. And another thing is that you can also turn on integration with the MIA Japanese add-on. So if I go to the settings of the add-on and I check these 2 boxes, now in order for this feature that I'm about to show you to work, you have to have the newest version of the MIA Japanese add-on. So if you don't have that yet, make sure you go and download that. It's up on Anki Web for free right now. So now, first of all, if I'm going to just go and use that feature where I'm just going to send stuff to the dictionary. So let's say, I look up Nihongo and then I send this definition to the meaning field. You can see it automatically added the furigana and pitch accent for the word. I didn't have to click the generate readings button. And now on the card, it's going to actually show up correctly. And so this is pretty cool because it saves you a button press, right? Normally, if you wanted to have the Japanese support add-on generate the readings for you, you'd have to first send it. Oops, I didn't select the field. You'd have to first send it and then hit the generate button. But in this case, it's already done. Now, this also is going to work on the export mode. So to go back to the export mode again, let's say, okay, this is my I+1 sentence, Control-Shift-X. The word I don't know is this one, Control-S. This definition looks good. And this one looks good. And then I want, like, I'll just do this picture again. And then I can add it. So you can see it's going to make sentence mining very fast. And the other feature I just remembered, there's a lot of features, so it's hard to remember them all, is let's say that, we can see there's 3 different definitions of chumuk right here. So let's say that you only wanted one of the definitions. So let's say you only wanted this first one. If you highlight it and then you click send, it's only going to send that one, the part that you highlighted plus the header. So you can see it took the header and then it just took the part that we actually sent. So sometimes, you get super long definitions, like look how long this Nihongo definition is. Maybe we only need the first sentence, right? So you can just highlight it, send it over, and there you go. It will only have the part that you need. And so, yeah, I don't think I totally showed the Google image feature, so to kind of show that as well. So again, actually, let's go back to the card export. So again, let's say we're reading, we want to export, we want to make a card for this sentence, so you just Control-Shift-X, and then this is the word I want to learn. So this isn't really a good example, but here, like Cholasen, so that would be Korea. So let's say I look that word up. Then let's say I want to add this image to the card. So again, you can select whatever images you want, and then you just hit the button, and it will send it to your card. And then maybe I also want this definition, and maybe I want this portion of this definition. And then add, and it will make the card for me. And also generate the readings and such. So now, oops, chaos. Where's the browser? When you actually view the card, we can see we have on the front, it's just the kanji, except we can hover over stuff to get more information. Then on the back, it's color-coded with pitch accent. And we have the image and the card where we can highlight and yeah. So you can see now you can make high-quality sentence cards extremely quickly. And again, maybe there's something on your card that you forgot, like bunka. Maybe you're like, oh, what does bunka mean? Search that up. Oh yeah, and then the Japanese add-on, if you click on something,
Nippon, 影響.
You can automatically get native audio right there. So, you look it up and say, oh, I see. I want to add that to my card. Again, right? Let's say you only want that first sentence. You can add it right there. See, we just added it. You don't even have to go to the edit page anymore. So it's just trying to optimize the workflow, make things more streamlined so it can save you time. And so you can see once you kind of get all the features of the add-on down, it's going to really make things go faster. Now, the last feature of the add-on that I'm going to show you guys today is the max export feature. Well, I'm not really going to show it to you because you can see in this profile I don't have any cards, but I'm going to tell you about it. So there's a feature where you can mass generate definitions for a whole chunk of cards at once. So let's just say real life scenario. This is probably going to be the most realistic scenario. You put a anime that you watch through Subs to SRS. You import that Subs to SRS deck into Anki. Then you run it through Morphman, and you have Morphman find all of the I+1 words. And Morphman, if you're familiar with it, whatever the I+1 word in a sentence is, it puts that in the focus morph field. And so if you had that set up, what you could do is highlight all of those I+1 cards that Morphman found, go to Edit, Export Definitions, and then you could have the MIA dictionary add-on automatically add definitions from the dictionary of your choice for the I+1 word in your I+1 sentences. So you just go to whatever your focus morph field is, that's what you would choose here. Then you would choose your dictionary of choice, and then you choose what field you wanted to put it into and click export, and you could add definitions to 100 cards at once. So with this, it's opening up the possibility of completely automating sentence mining where, you know, you watch a TV show, you put it through subs to SRS, you have Morphman find the I+1 cards, and then you have this add-on automatically add the definitions. And again, even if the definitions aren't perfect, because, you know, maybe it adds one that you don't understand or it gets the wrong word, it's not going to be perfect. But again, if you want to just fix it well on the fly, this add-on is going to make that very efficient and quick to do. So yeah, that's all I really have for this video. I know I didn't explain things in very much detail, so definitely check out Yoga's in-depth tutorial guide, which is going to be on our Patreon. And if you don't want to join our Patreon, that's totally cool. This add-on should be out for free in an even better shape and like even more robust and with more features than it has now in a few months from now. So just hold tight and enjoy the public Japanese add-on in the meantime. So that's all for me, and I'll see you next time.